Hey everybody, my name is Emily Fraser and I am here to tell the truth, the whole truth, and the bare naked truth.
State your name for the record.
My name is Emily Wendy Fraser.
All right, I'm going to read you your rights. You have the right to remain silent.
Okay.
Anything you say can and will be posted and used against you.
Okay.
You can plead the fifth if you are scared of speaking the bare naked truth. Do you
Sounds good.
understand your rights?
Yes.
All right, let's get started. August 17th, 2003. You take to Facebook to make an announcement about starting your solo career.
Did I?
So we gathered that before this date, you were part of a group, possibly. What was the name of this group, and why did you feel the need to venture away and do music solo?
In 2003?
I believe it was 2003.
Where was I in 2003?
That's what we're trying to figure out.
20 years ago.
Yeah.
About 10
I'm
years
sorry.
old.
Excuse me. My apologies. Who wrote this? Jesus Christ.
10
Fix
years
your
old.
work. 2023. I
2023.
apologize.
Okay. Um, I was not part of a group, but I was part of a project.
Okay.
And they were trying to kind of build a persona around my music. And, at the end of the day, we had different intentions. So we had to part ways for sure. One thing about me is in my career, I always wanted to maintain being happy. And I feel like in this industry, they kind of have the mentality like, we want to make you famous. And when you approach it that way, I feel like you have to give up things that I wasn't willing to give up. And I don't care if I go to the top or stay in the middle, as long as I'm happy and I feel like I'm still like a positive influence and I can go to sleep happy at night with a clear conscience, like that's okay with me. Because I feel like everything happens for a reason, and that was not for me, pretty much.
Okay. Okay. So let's move along here. So let's talk about Controller.
Controlling.
This is your debut song as a solo artist, correct?
Yes.
Okay, and my team tells me that this song was contrived after a bad development deal.
Correct.
Is that
Yes.
also correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So, at what point in this relationship, excuse me, so at what point did this relationship turn sour? And if you were contracted, how did you get out of that situation?
So I never signed a physical contract, which was the best decision I pretty much ever made. It was all verbal.
Okay.
And the beginning line of the song, grab all the things, run out the door. That song is literally telling my story of the moment when I was like, grab all the things, run out the door. And the alarms went off. I feel like gaslight is such like a trendy term, but and I don't like to just throw it around, but the gaslighting was super real. And I realized that although I stated all my intentions with the deal, it was like sometimes people just hear what they want to hear.
Hmm.
And I was like, this is not right, and it's not a good deal. And I learned a lot from that situation um, that I'm now applying to my music career in my life. So.
Okay. Okay.
Mhm.
All right. And so it's also to my knowledge that you were trained in ballet,
Yes.
which is
Mhm.
considered by many to be I guess you could say, extremely precise and graceful form of dance.
Mhm. Mhm.
I happened to stumble across the video of you learning the choreography for Controller. What was the learning curve from ballet to choreographed dancing?
Okay. So I did a lot of different dance styles. When I was trained in ballet, I was very young, and it was a good family friend that was a ballerina, Terry Woody, that kind of pulled me out and trained me. But I also took hip hop dance classes, jazz, tap. I love dance, but I do not claim to be like a professional dancer or the best dancer. I love to dance.
Okay.
And I particularly love to freestyle dance. I kind of really found a passion with freestyle dancing because I have fibromyalgia, which is like pain in the joints. And whenever
Hmm.
I find myself just kind of like in that flow state, that's where I feel the most comfortable and out of pain. So To answer your question, the learning curve from my choreographer, Kamari Marshall, who is incredible, and if you watch the video, and you should, you can
Hmm.
see that. It was a big learning curve because you probably wouldn't guess this, but I'm twice her age,
Oh
like
wow. Okay.
literally. So, you know, she had a little bit of an advantage there, but I did my best, and we had fun with it. And if you look at like the behind the scenes footage,
Hmm.
you can see that.
Yeah, we definitely
But
saw that.
yeah, yeah. And I'm like, I'm not afraid to make a joke of myself, as you can see either. So,
Okay.
but we had fun. We made it happen.
Okay.
There
Just
was a lot of editing that went into that video.
just a off the cuff. From now on, when you practice, do you tie your hair up? Because we noticed you whipped yourself a couple times with your hair in the video.
I gotta remember to do that
Okay.
for sure.
Well, this is your reminder. Okay.
Yeah, thank you,
All right.
thank you.
No problem. All right. So I also see that you attended Regent University on a singing scholarship.
I did.
And
Mhm,
while at the university, you also acting and modeling.
mhm, mhm.
Um, we see that the singing is paramount, but what are your plans for furthering your acting and modeling portfolios?
Um, I don't love to be the model. I feel like I'm really awkward, honestly. And that's one of the biggest challenges for me. But as far as, social media, and that's the big thing these days, you kind of, I'm learning, you kind of have to see what works for you. And the the like more editorial modeling stuff, like people seem to like that. So, and I like to challenge myself. So I would love to do work with more photographers, do more photo shoots, and kind of grow in that area. But it's definitely, I was always the girl, like I'm probably in some random Regent University brochures that I was just, I guess, photogenic, but it was not my first choice whatsoever. And I also, another little random thing, I used to be a party princess. Um,
What is a party princess, if you don't mind us asking?
I worked for a company, and we would dress up as the Disney princesses
Okay.
and perform at kids parties, and then we would
Okay.
also do like photo shoots for the kids.
Which
Um,
which character were you?
I was a lot of them. I was Ariel, Cinderella. I've been Snow White, Elsa, of
I
course,
definitely see
Anna.
Elsa. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I was just whatever they needed.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. And then as far as acting goes, um, I recently got a little bit back into it with one of my good friends, Alex Best. He likes to do short films, and he kind of recruited me, and I was like, man, I haven't done this in a while, but like, let's go. And I'm also getting back into it. Me and my boyfriend, one of the ways we try to put out content and promote is by making like comedy skits. So again, it's like I'm actually a really big introvert, and that's why I said I feel like I'm kind of awkward. But I also never let a challenge hold me back. So
Okay.
we'll see. I'm open to it.
Okay.
Hmm.
Alrighty. So I also see that being from Milwaukee, you ended up here in VA.
Hmm.
What was the change from living there to living here, and what adjustments have you had to make?
That was a huge adjustment, but I've dealt with that my whole life. Like when I was very young, I went to school in like an inner city environment, and then fast forward to high school, it was very much the opposite, and I had like more suburbia, and I
Hmm.
had to transition then and learn how to adapt. And then the same thing happened when I came here from Milwaukee, and I kind of ended up in this school that was a really, really small school, Oak Tree Academy. I had like 15 people maybe in my class,
Wow.
and it was very like tight knit because it was created by like homeschool families. So it was all these kids that knew each other ever since they were kids, and then I just come in there, and of course, again, I'm like the odd one out. But I had already been used to that, and kind of being quick on my feet and having to adapt. Um, so yeah, I was really mad at my parents. So I moved the middle of high school.
Oh wow.
But you just have to adjust. And I found my way. I found
Okay.
my way actually more working in restaurants and finding friends there. Mhm.
especially the big tippers, right? Okay, moving
Yeah,
on. Uh, so I also read that you did a cover of SZA's song "Kill Bill,"
I did.
and that was aired on KWBH
Mhm.
101.5
Mhm.
FM
Yes, it
in
was.
Los
Yes, it was.
Angeles, right?
Yep.
Okay, congratulations to that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Could you tell us about the independent pop scene in your current area, and do you feel like there should be more outlets? Do you think artists are overlooked, and is there any drama between the artists
Hmm.
in that field?
Let's see. I think that there should definitely be more coverage of the independent pop scene because I myself had to do a little bit of digging to just
Hmm.
even find out if there was one.
Okay.
And I was nominated for the VIA Awards this past year in the pop category, pop music video of the year, song of the year.
Okay.
And I kind of found out about it like, okay, who else is in my category? And I had to do a little digging, and I was like, wow, okay, there's actually some talent in this area. Um, as far as like contemporary pop though, to be honest with you, I didn't see a lot of it. I saw a lot of like indie pop,
Hmm.
like shout out Sonny and Gabe won music video of the year. I checked them out. They were super cool. So, I definitely think that that's a avenue that could get tapped into.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And is there any drama between the artists? No, we don't know, so we're
Um.
asking.
Yeah. Not really that I know of.
Okay.
Um. I try to stay out of drama, honestly, for real.
Hmm.
I like to watch my drama on television. I don't like it in my own life.
Got you.
And
Got you.
I kind of like to have the mentality that there's plenty of room at the top. I don't think, we all fall victim to try to compare ourselves to the next person, but I think that we're all unique, and I think that that's like it's a mindset thing. It's like you either have an abundance mindset or you have I have to grab at anything I can get because there's not enough. And I more like to think that it's better for us to support each other
Hmm.
because we all have our own lane pretty much.
True. True.
So that's kind of my mindset.
Okay. Okay.
Hmm.
And so it's obvious, from digging around a little bit to your background. We do have a crazy research team, I may add.
I'm scared.
That you were attracted to the arts at a young age. I see guitar, piano,
Mhm.
ballet,
Mhm.
singing, drawing. Which is a lot of we see in your content creation. Your merch designs, website, things like
Mhm.
that. How do you feel when you see that schools have been like cutting these programs away from the children who, may also have this talent, but it may not yet be discovered?
I think it's definitely unfortunate that it's being taken out of schools, but I think it's also cool that we live in a day and age where there's so much free information available online.
Hmm.
So, and everybody has access to that, honestly. Um, like a lot of my skills, I were self-taught, and it was
Okay.
because I grew up whenever YouTube started popping and the internet for real. So I don't support it being taken out of schools. I think that the youth's creativity should be nurtured, but I will encourage people that if you have a passion for it, I promise you there's information. There's information out there, and if you believe in yourself, like you'd be surprised what you can accomplish because like I said, like a lot of my skills, photography, um, digital design, videography, all that, I just taught myself. And you have to be willing to work hard though.
Hmm. Definitely, definitely. All right, so let's talk about your music here. So the missing part is the latest video.
Hmm.
Currently available on YouTube and other streaming platforms, I assume. And I also see that you directed, edited, and did some filming. So what
I
was that
did.
experience like for you?
Um, a
To be
little
on
bit
both sides of the
stressful,
camera, actually. Hmm.
but also not because I say like I make the joke I'm kind of a control freak after controller, and I
Hmm.
just can't stand like I had not every experience because I've worked with some really great producers, but I can't stand whenever my idea or my song gets taken over by other people and they make it something that it's not, and then it's kind of like a wash. So I had a lot of fun being able to do things exactly my way. And again, like that's an added burden trying to do all that. But at the end of the day, I'm really proud of everything, and I can say that I made all those creative decisions, and I can stand behind them pretty much. So
Okay. So you plan on doing more directing of your videos and stuff, or maybe
yeah,
some other people?
yeah, I would
Okay.
love to. I would love to collaborate with other people. I don't. I don't want to do everything by myself all the time, but it was definitely cool to have that experience.
Okay.
And again, a lot of this is, I've been trying to make the most out of little because this all costs money and it takes time and all that. So I was kind of like, for that one, I was actually advised not to do a music video um, by a mentor, but I really wanted to do it. So I had like, people would be shocked at some of my budgets, and I'm just like, I feel like I'm constantly just like pulling rabbits out of hats. Like, um, I just was like, I want to make it happen, so I'm just gonna do it myself, DIY. But as my journey continues, and maybe I have some bigger budgets, I would love to collaborate. Like I'm talking right now to some people, and we're talking about music video collaborations in the future with like a full team. And I do understand, like, I think that collaborating is important, and I don't think that it should be just me, me, me. I think that there's so many other talented people, and I think that when you get the right people together, you can create something far beyond what I could do by myself. So I'm looking forward to that in the future for sure.
Definitely. Yeah, having a good team is definitely
Yeah,
important.
yeah, yeah.
The team behind this, they're all right. I gotta work on them to get them better, but we're working on it. And also too, I see that you partner with Goathead
Yep,
Records.
yep. So
Goathead,
go
not Goat
ahead.
Verse.
Yeah, I
All
thought
right.
that was
And how
funny.
how did this partnership? Well, excuse me. How has this partnership been different from your previous one?
This partnership was different because several times throughout me trying to start some type of career, people saw potential in me. The difference in this time was I didn't feel like they were trying to take advantage. Like people would see
Okay.
potential, and I felt like they'd be like, what can I get out of that? So in this relationship, it's more them seeing the potential in me, and I don't feel taken advantage of. I feel heard. Um, I feel like the advice is valid because the people that are giving me the advice have the qualifications, and it's not, everybody. We live in the day and age where everybody wants to be an expert at something with like zero qualifications. So that was definitely different. And another thing is they've just been so encouraging. Even whenever us artists, I feel like are so self-critical, and that is a trait I think that actually pushes us to be great. But it's good to hear encouragement from people and be someone just being like, hey, you're doing a good job. So they've definitely provided like an environment that I can finally thrive in. And I feel like you can see that. Like for so long I was pursuing it and I wasn't getting anywhere. And just in like we were just having the conversation, like in seven months, I feel like I've come pretty far, like further than I have before. So, I
Okay.
mean, that's just proof right there. They're really good people, and you know, it was kind of hard and challenging to just blindly trust. Like they're out of Los Angeles, I'm in Virginia. It was kind of hard to just take a chance with people that I've never even legitimately met. But I'm really glad I did take that chance because they're
Okay.
good people, and they really help independent artists, and I feel like it was a perfect fit for me, being an independent artist that needed help and just didn't know how to get it. And yeah, it's a really funny story. I don't know if you want to hear about how that kind of all came into play, but it was very much felt like meant to be.
Okay. Matter of fact, I think we do have some time. If you don't mind telling the story, please go ahead.
Okay, so we've already kind of talked about how I was in like the development deal, and I had to walk away from it.
Hmm.
So when that happened, I was pretty defeated, And the irony is, we were working on a concept that was like social media themed. Because I always had strong opinions about social media, and I didn't love it. Like through this process now, I've learned to embrace it, and I'll explain why.
Hmm.
But TikTok was the biggest one I had beef with. I just had a lot of bad feelings about it. And through social media, I posted a cover that I actually recorded for a friend that requested it, and I posted it to promote a show. And this guy Frank Carozzo um, followed me, and I had checked out his profile, and I seen that he was like in the industry, and I was like, oh shoot, like let me try to start a conversation. And he actually posted a story about TikTok. And I was like, okay, let me just start a conversation. And I started a conversation about TikTok and my opinions. And that conversation led to me telling kind of my story. And him being like, that's not how that's supposed to work. When I explained kind of what happened in that deal.
Hmm.
And that conversation led to him introducing me to my producer that I use now. And that's it. So it all came from social media. And also, it came from the bad thing
Hmm.
being the intro conversation into now what is helping me thrive. And that I feel like is my soul, because I'm a huge believer that even when you're down, like keep your chin up, because there's always a reason. And
Hmm.
that's kind of like the basis, I think, of faith. And it's like you can't see it when you're in it, but you have to believe that there's a reason. So, and I feel like I'm kind of proof of that, and like here we are. So,
Okay, definitely that ray of sunshine in the dark there, definitely. So, real quick before we let you go, Do I Stay? It's the
do
new
I
single.
stay? Yes.
Tell us about it, and why did you choose the spaceship artwork for it?
Okay, Do I Stay? I love this song. So this is the third song that me and my producer Astroman have worked on,
Okay.
and I feel like it takes a little bit to really get your groove with the person and to understand. And I feel like this third one, it was like third time's a charm. Like I
Hmm.
loved my first two singles, but this one I felt like he really understood all my influences, and we created something that really is Emily.
Okay.
And I chose the spaceship or the UFO kind of. I thought it would be cool to tie in, because I plan on working with Astro Man for a while.
Hmm.
I think that it's a good opportunity when you have a good relationship with a producer to kind of develop your sound with them.
Definitely.
So I was like, do I stay? Wouldn't it be cool imagery? Astro Man's my producer, to see me. I feel like cover art should visually represent the concept of a song. So you
Hmm.
see me in there, like about to go away, and you see another figure watching. And I don't want to reveal too much about this
Yeah, don't give them
song.
too much
It's
just yet.
coming out, but that's kind of where that concept came from.
Okay.
Hmm.
All right, dope, dope. Well, I
Hmm.
definitely appreciate you spending your time with us here today.
Thank you for having
Real
me.
quick before we let you go, I want you to look in the camera, tell the people where they can find you at, and anything you want them to know that you have coming up. The floor is yours.
Okay. You can find me on every social media platform. My handle is Dareal Mfra. That's DarealEmfra. Or I've tested it. If you Google Emily Fraser music, you spell it the wrong way, because I know you probably will, I will pop up. Um, and coming up, the most the thing I have coming up right away is I'm playing at the MoMAC in Portsmouth on the 4th of April, and it's a songwriting night. So that will be all original music. Definitely would love to have you come out. But um, my biggest request as an independent artist, if you want to support me, is to subscribe to my YouTube channel. So
Okay.
check it
Is
out.
that the real?
The Real M Fry. Or
Gotcha.
if you type in my video Emily Fraser controller, it'll pop up.
Alrighty. Well, once again, much success on your career and the things you
Thank you.
have coming up. I definitely appreciate you spending your time with us here today, and I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you so much.
Alrighty.